How's it going, everyone? It is Thursday, July 18th, 2024. Let's take a look from the last video here on WDC. So I believe, WDC as a short, and it has been producing. So yesterday, I think I said on an LRSI pullback, if you get in on WDC, that could be a pretty nice trade. It was setting up right here. So you got a nice move in WDC over there later in the day. Let's take a look at what the market was doing on that day. So we had a kind of this weak grind down. So it had a big move up. We had a choppy move down. So over here on this little bounce, that's when you kind of get in. When this bounce starts to fail, when we break through this key level, I think 1140, that was a good time to get in on the stock. When the trend starts to stall a little bit here, you can take profits, try to reload on the next bounce. So sort of a nice win here from 73.12, probably all the way down. I don't know if you can get a snipe 73 or 72.12, maybe. Is this the low of the day? Yeah, potentially you can get there, but you can get about $1 here on this little move lower. So WDC was a pretty nice win on that day. Today was still another excellent day trade, by the way. The selling pressure continued. There was a nice bounce over here. See, it bounced the 8 EMA. We got this little smackdown over here. You can short on this bounce, knowing that we can probably test the low of the day and we can continue higher. Since then, the stock has compressed, not really been bouncing during the market rally. See, the market rallied from 1220 to about 145. So if I look at 1220 over here somewhere, yeah, 1220 to about 145, pretty flat, but then it didn't drop with the market. So you know that this stock is pretty dead for the day. Potentially take profits unless you are really willing to hold for a late day sell-off. This has been a very, very long compression in the stock. It has made a very big move very quickly. We may see a little bit of end-of-day acceleration if it can't get off the deck. All right, so nice win on WDC. Still in all cash here. Let's take a look at what the market has been doing. And today we're actually seeing some follow-through on this sell-off. So we got a little bit of a gap down here. Market hit a little bit of support around 567-ish, 566. And then we fell all the way down to our AVWAP-Q around 552. And we're getting this pullback on the D1. So again, long-term D1, we're still mildly bullish. This is actually what we want. Short-term, we are bearish. So I'm about a -2 bearish right now. We're seeing some nice long red candles, some decent price action. So this is the pullback that we wanted to see. So if our short-term market bias is mildly bearish, but our long-term market bias is mildly bullish, that tells us that we are in a pullback. We have a short-term contra trend, and when we find support, we can join the longer-term trend at a favorable entry point in terms of price and in terms of immediate follow-through. So after this, we have some support right here at around 550. So we're watching that level. And then after that, we have a little bit of support to this upward sloping trend line. So I believe we might find some support here over the next few days. Now, if we break through here, then we have a much deeper retracement. And it tells us that, okay, well, the selling pressure has gotten a little bit strong. And we may not be as bullish on the next bounce up. So it really depends. Again, we made a pretty big move, right? We had one pullback here, pretty big move in the stock, in the market. And so when you have a really big move, your pullback is going to be relative to this move over here. So you can see we had a really big move, and then we got the pretty deep pullback, right? Versus here, okay, we made a pretty big move, so we might get a little bit of a deeper pullback, and then we can get in the next entry point far more favorably here. So with that in mind, we want to be prepared for the next leg up, which will be a rally. I'm not sure when it's going to come. I'm not going to take any longs today, but I am looking to find some relatively strong stocks. So one stock that I traded earlier, I don't think I posted in the YouTube picks, but I quite liked it, was JMIA. So this stock has pulled back a little bit with the market, but I love how it didn't really sell off too much today. Found some support at this prior level. and it is holding its 8 EMA. Let's zoom out a little bit, maybe to the M30. So here's the gap up, or here's a long green candle on very high volume. Stock grinded up higher, so took a decent win on that. And then stock is pulling back here. If we put up the SPY overlay, you can see that the market has sold off way harder than this stock has, and this stock has kind of come down, compressed a little bit. So I'm keeping an eye on this stock, and I have an alert set right over here around 1290. So if it can break through that level, then I'm interested in getting in on the stock. Whoops, kind of jumping around all these time frames here. So if it can kind of get through this compression, right, you have the move down here. This is a choppy move down. Now we're actually been compressing for the past couple of days while the market has been selling off for the past couple of days, right? Here's that side-by-side comparison. Really been selling off. This stock has not been selling off. So once the market finds some support, this stock can get above this high over here. We have a nice entry point to ride this trend a little bit higher. So that's what I'm liking in JMIA. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to add it to making a list here. So I'm going to add good D1. So we'll keep an eye on that for the future. Let's get back to that market analysis though. So I mentioned that we're long-term bullish, short-term mildly bearish. Let's look at what's happening on first an M30 chart. I like to have that zoom in first. I'm liking this M30 chart quite a bit. So long rally here, deep retracement, and we're kind of waffling up over higher, kind of compressing a little bit, but we have a mildly bullish trend, pretty low volume, all of this. Now we get the big drop, and then we had to move into the gap, couldn't get anything going, we compressed for a while. So that was the clue. We got this move down, and then this really should have been a bounce, and didn't quite get a nice bounce. So the selling pressure is very heavy, got this big next leg lower. We got a bounce here, lasted about, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. Now we're getting our next leg lower again. So we're still quite a bit in this pullback phase. We're now testing some support here from 550. So we may break that, may not break that. Who knows? If we have a lot of volume and very strong price action, it makes it far more likely like those levels are going to break. So that's what we're seeing on an M30 basis on a more shorter term time frame. Today, what happened? We got a little gap up, a little bit of compression. We try to pop up higher, and then we started to sell off. Reminds me of a little bit of what we saw. Or can I find this day? Yes, reminds me of this day, I believe on July 11th, right? Get a little move higher. This is a bit flat open, then we get a strong move down. So that's pretty much what we got today. If I were to zoom in today, right? And the clue here is we get this long red candle very early in the day, right? And then we get a little bit of follow through. We get a bounce here, right? And you could usually get some of these bounces off some key support levels. So this is the 5-day low. So we got a bounce right around the open of this. We wanted to see if this would hold. And then when we broke through this bounce over here at 548, that's when we got some nice follow through. We got this little bit of a rally here. You can see that this was pretty weak. So strong trend strength here early in the rally. Started some follow through. Then we got some green candles, high volume. So this is kind of first chink in the armor here, high volume green candle, a little bit of a pop and gets faded down. Then we get this high volume bearish hammer. Now, what does that mean in terms of a bearish trend? Well, it means that there was a lot of buyers, they were able to push up the price, and sellers knocked it back down. So this is actually a sign of strength in terms of a bearish move, because there's a lot of selling pressure. There should be a lot of selling pressure here, but we couldn't get a lot of net movement. So that was a sign of strength coming into here. Then we got this little bullish bullish engulfing candle here. It gets faded again. Couldn't get anything going to the downside versus what happened here. This was a lower bullish pop, and then we got a new low. We got a stronger bullish pop, could not get a new low. So all of these are little clues that the trend strength is slowly waning, and then we got the move up higher. Now, in this move up, right, so here's our clue. We break through the 8 EMA. We're closing above it. We get a little bit of follow through here. So if you're in shorts, you want to get out of the trade at this point. Now, this 1OP bearish cycle is a little bit early. Snipes it in. We really started getting the move down somewhere here, but this is a little bit early. So we're cautious on this bounce, and we notice that there's going to be mixed candles over here. The volume is far lower relative to what was happening on this move over here. Far lower volume, and you can see that Get a little bit of test. We get a move higher. Every move higher gets challenged. Doesn't get a lot of follow through. So this is the net bar. This is the net bar. That's it. And then maybe these two are net bars, right? So most of the move time, we're just kind of going sideways. Test, right? We're testing here, testing here. Sellers are in this stock. Now we're in the market. So we get this little tiny hammer here. Nothing crazy, not a huge range. Compress for a little bit, challenge up a little bit higher, and then we come to the downside. So that was a great signal bar to enter in on SPY. We broke through this downward sloping trend line, double top, and then we have a double top and a lower low. Over here, volume is starting to pick back up. So took a SPY short somewhere around here, took some small profits, and then this trade started to accelerate. Now, we wanted to see what would happen at the low of the day. So we got some green candles here, a little high volume candles. So that tells us that there's a little bit of trend strength waning. Nice smackdown. We get a nice move up and then another smackdown again. So it tells us that sellers are still in here. We're hugging that 8 EMA, unable to get up higher. Market breaks to the low of the day right here. We have a nice bullish hammer, right? And we come back up for a retest of this low of the day, and that gets rejected on a bearish hammer. So that's actually another nice little short entry point here. Market ends up continuing. We get a nice pop down lower where we test this low that I mentioned earlier. So there's a lot of kind of little decision points is coming into play. There's the AVWAP-Q right around here. There's our AVWAP-Q. 51.93. So a lot of levels that we're testing and challenging makes it a little bit tougher to day trade. You want to get in on the bounce earlier so you have some room to evaluate what's happening at these key levels. So certainly a nice bearish trend day, but definitely harder to trade. There was two entry points that I saw. The first one was getting in here at 11.10. The second entry point was getting in at 1.50. So when you got in those two entry points for the day, you're good. So this is the earlier day entry within the first 2-ish hours. And then this is the later day entry after the first 3 to 4 hours. You get a nice entry point in the stock into the market. All right, so with all of this in mind, what can we expect? So we're breaking through these levels here. We're kind of a little bit at support. Now the market's made a pretty decent move higher. Obviously, we don't want to take any day trades in the last 30 minutes. We also can't take any long. So what I'd want to do is probably take a potential overnight short. The first thing I'm watching for is just if there's going to be any major earnings tomorrow. We have Netflix coming out. That's kind of the main one I see. XP is okay. It's not really that big, to be honest. So we want to find a stock that perhaps we can take a nice overnight short on. So if I take a couple look at some of these sectors over here, a lot of sectors are down. Healthcare has been very, very weak. Only energy has been strong for today. Let's see what healthcare is doing. So I probably want a stock that is pretty close to breaking down here. Has a weak D1 chart. And we can take a look at how they are looking. So I'm going to look at stocks that have some weak D1s here. And let's sort this by range. So we're going to do some live looking here, see if we can find a nice overnight swing. Vegas LVS is pretty nice. I like that breakdown to a new low. May have a little bit of follow through here. We want to find maybe a fresher move. ACMR has a million trend lines to get through. So we're going to do a couple of live scanning here. If I can't find anything live on video for the next couple of minutes, that actually might change right now. Look at L. Wow. That is a beautiful breakdown on L. What a rejection on this candle. That is the stock to trade. I mean, look at that move. Oh my gosh. Okay, so L is our top pick in terms of a move here. Potentially we'll have some follow through. It's a little bit choppy. So ideally, I may want to get a little bit of a compression break, but we have a little bit of a compression break here. So L is going to be our top pick for an overnight short. Let's see if we can find anything else. Lift, not too bad. At a support level, looks like I've drawn a support level here. And that may have been stalling it for this last bit of the bounce. Not quite yet. EQT, Dash. So we want to get something that has been already moving under its own power. And now the market is giving us a little bit more tailwind. There is Vail. That's a nice mover. Or not even that sure of that, to be honest. BEKE. JD, don't want to trade a Chinese stock overnight. Schwab has been really beat, but it's been pounded a lot today. So it probably needs a little bit of selling. I want to get a move that's a little bit more fresh. Let's look at AEO. AEO is pretty nice, hitting a little bit of support there. Let's see what's weak over here on the D1 basis. UAL is selling off quite a bit. It's a nice rejection post-earn. Want a better D1. So let's see if I can get a custom search before I go to Red Royal Flush. A lot of stocks on Red Royal Flush. Let's see what stocks are going to be weak over here. GPS, M. Let's look at M. Snow. I don't want a stock that's already made a huge move. I want a stock that's kind of just getting its move. And I like Snow over here. I like Snow quite a bit. So had a decent bounce over here. And now it was actually falling for the last couple of days. And now we're actually finally getting that selling pressure in the market. Starting to ramp up over here. I like Snow quite a bit. I'm just going to check. Snowflake is in software apps. So I'm just doing a quick check here. Let's go to tech. And then let's go to software application. And let's just see if there are any major earnings coming up on some stuff here. I didn't see anything super crazy. Sort by earnings. So now is happening. A couple of filters. We got a volume filter. Okay, so now is pretty big. Maybe I'll sort by volume as well. That'll tell us what is really being traded. So see, I mean, Uber, I'm not sure if I count Uber. Unity's bouncing, Shop. There's Snow on 828. There's ZI. Take a look at ZI quickly. Yeah, but it has earnings not for another 10 days. So I feel pretty good. And it's going to be an overnight swing. So I just want to make sure there's nothing really in the way. But I love this failed bounce on Snow. We have room until some support here. So I think I'm going to take Snow as an overnight swing. That's going to be my pick for the day. Now, how would you trade this? I'm going to wait for a little bounce in Snow, a little profit-taking bounce. If I can get somewhere maybe 131-ish or so, would be pretty happy with taking that entry. And I'm using this support level right here as my stop. So let's zoom out a little bit at that support level. And you can see how there has been a lot of price interaction at that point, right? Bounce, bounce, bounce. You can see these lower highs coming into Snow, and we finally broke down through that level. You can ignore some of these tails. I think this is the key level right here, right around 134. And on the D1, right here is the test. You can see the reaction at this level. So when it can break through this level, then we get a nice move down. When we break above this level, we can get a decent move up. So that is going to be my pick of the day, Snow overnight swing. Keep it short term. Don't overdo it. And, be cautious on the market over here. We expect this to produce in maybe 1 or 2 days. We don't want to get overextended, and we don't want to overload on the short side. So we're going to add it to our YouTube picks. And that is going to be the pick of the day. We're going to just adding it to our picks. All right. So thank you everyone for watching. And I don't know why I said it with like a V, but thanks for watching everyone. We're going to take a look at how Snow is doing in tomorrow's video.